Meg, you've obviously seen a bit of Hayley Matthews in the Women's Big Bash, but she's 18 years old. Did you expect her to go out and play like that in a World Final, given the target that you'd set?
Oh, we've seen bits and pieces of her, and she's very talented, that's for sure. She had a good series against us in Australia a couple of years ago, and played well for the Hobart Hurricanes as well. So it wasn't a surprise. We didn't want her to do it today, but she played exceptionally well and was pretty hard to stop.
Meg, when you look at it, did you think the final over that you guys had with the bat ended up, being the difference? Not only being able to make one run there in the last over?
It was certainly a pivotal moment, I guess. I think we needed 160 plus on that wicket, and we certainly set ourselves up to get to that mark, and we just probably slowed a little bit towards the end, including that final over. So that probably gave the West Indies a little bit of momentum heading into their batting innings, and it was disappointing, I guess, not to finish off the batting innings because we had such a good start.
And that run-out chance in the final over, I mean, if that had have landed, do you think you were a chance, or, was it too late by then?
You always hope you're in with a chance until the game's over, and could have made things interesting, that's for sure. But it just didn't seem to go our way today, and the West Indies came out firing, really took the game on and deserved their win.
Matt, the quality of the game that we saw today with a big total set and then being chased down, I mean, does that show where the women's game's headed? A lot of boundaries being scored and these totals capable of being chased down?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's that's a great advertisement for women's cricket tonight. I think as Meg said, I think we would like to get 160 and put ourselves in a position to do that, which is starting to get around the men's scores, and that's what we've targeted as a group for ourselves. But and the fact that they chased that down, and being honest, it was a pretty comfortable chase in the end. I think we scrambled and did pretty well to make a game of it at the end, but I thought they batted exceptionally well tonight, and what a great advertisement for the game.
Meg, you've played Women's World T20 before. How do you gauge the response this time? How do you compare this event to the last two or three in terms of the crowd response and in general?
Yeah, I think the crowds throughout the whole tournament have been really good. Even standalone women's games, there's been decent crowds in. So each tournament certainly is building on the last one, which is great. We've seen the build up to the World Cup with WBBL and now the Super League in England. So there's lots more happening with women's cricket. It's building all the time, and I think the skill level is really increasing as well. And I think the way that the game was played tonight was certainly an example of that.
And Meg, just to go further on that, do you think the gap between the top 4 or 5 teams in the world now is a lot closer? I mean, Australia was so dominant for so many years, but now it seems like 3 or 4 teams would have won this tournament.
Yeah, absolutely, and we've spoken about it a lot, that everyone's sort of catching up and going past, I guess, and we need to keep improving to make sure we stay on top, and we did that, I think, but we just probably weren't good enough today to beat the West Indies. But there's no doubt that the teams are getting better. The West Indies is a great example of that, and even throughout the whole tournament, the standard's been really good throughout the group stages as well. So there's no easy games in women's cricket anymore. If you're not on 100%, then you're not going to win. So we've certainly found that out in this tournament.
Robbie. There's been a lot of talk about how the Women's Big Bash has helped your side, but was tonight a good example of how it's helped the opposition?
It's a good question. We certainly learn a lot about other internationals, and they, I guess, learn a bit about us as well. But I don't think there's any secrets in international cricket anymore. Every game's pretty much on TV and everyone can see it, so it's pretty much just about executing on the day, and the West Indies did that a bit better than us.
Matt, would you have changed anything in the preparation in the lead up to the tournament?
Not really, no. I think we managed it quite well. I think we did come out of the WBBL quite tired, and we had a couple of games against India and they played really good cricket, but you could see the group was pretty tired, so we spent a lot of time just making sure in between games that the girls are refreshed, ready to go. And that hard cricket, particularly against New Zealand, I think really held us in good stead in a couple of matches leading up to today. So, no, you wouldn't change anything. It has been a tough, long road, but if we'd won today, I think we would have said what an amazing preparation we had had. So no excuses. I think we put our best foot forward. We're just a little bit shy of the mark today, but the spirit that's been shown in this group over the last few weeks in particular, it's something we're really proud of. And I know this group's going to be strong for a long time, and it's great that other teams are challenging Australia. As you said before, that any team can win it out of this tournament, and the West Indies turning over a good side in New Zealand, the semi is a great example. So we knew we were in for a big fight today, and halfway through our batting innings I thought we'd really put our foot on it, but we missed a couple of opportunities to bury the game, and as we said before, other teams will knock you over in that case.
And I guess being such a young group, what do you say to them afterwards that you learn from this and get better? Or what's the message to the players afterwards?
I guess the message is it's such a fickle game. You win a couple of key moments at the back end of that innings. As you said, we get a run out, we get a catch there at the end, and we're the ones sitting in there celebrating. And so I think you've got to be realistic with T20 at times. You can put yourself in position to win them, but sometimes it's taken beyond your control. And those girls today batted exceptionally well. They hit us off a lot of good balls, and we can live with that. I think what we've learnt throughout the tournament is we want to bowl less bad balls, but I think they really took us down off some good balls today.
Does that make the hat-trick before this just even more remarkable, because T20 cricket is such a fickle game?
Yeah, no doubt. And the irony is, if you look at the winning percentages of all the teams, they're all pretty similar. So going into this tournament, New Zealand, England and Australia won about the same amount of games throughout the tournament. So it is a remarkable achievement to win 3 of them. And as you saw at the back end of our innings, even when we were out of the game, we didn't give up. And I think that's what's part of the culture in this team, and I think it's exciting. We didn't get over the line tonight, but we put ourselves in a position to win. And as I said, it's a line ball that can come down a couple of key moments, and we didn't quite win them tonight.
Ben, last 2.
Matt, just with Megan at the end there, as a coach, what do you sort of say to her after a moment like that at the end?
Not a lot. They've seen that stuff a lot, and I think in answer to your question from Meg, I think the game was probably beyond us at that stage. You'd like to think that you're in it, but we can't isolate that incident. No, we missed plenty of opportunities to take the game away from the West Indies today. So we learned from that. But I think if we'd have put out a score that we were capable of at the right time, then I think we wouldn't have had to worry about little things like that at the back end.
Just a quick word, on Elise Villani. It seemed like in the summer she maybe wasn't in the plans for this tournament. So what about the way she's got herself back into the team and the performances she sort of put out in this? Yeah,
I think she's been a real inspiration for a lot of the girls in our group. She definitely was struggling at various times. She didn't have a great WBBL, and we left her out with a heavy heart. We knew she was a good player, but she actually needed to go back and find a game, and she spent a lot of time working back in WA and reinventing herself and getting that freedom that you saw today. Before that, she was stifled a little bit with just the mental approach to the game, and she's done some things away off the field that have put her in a really good headspace, and you could see that throughout this tournament. And really remarkable turnaround, and great for our batting unit going forward.
All right, thanks for having us.
Thank you.